which pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those say nay. Agenda approved.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I'll abstain.
Those say nay. Minutes approved. Communications?
Had a conservation meeting on Wednesday. He said he got down to within 15,000, I think. I believe what he said, maybe 50. Can't remember. Where he got down to for the end of the fiscal year.
Yeah.
So he was trying real hard to get that where it should have been. We're applying for some grant money. He's gonna come in and give a presentation about improvements down at Gateway. It's very expensive, so. But if we get the grants, it'll be like, I wanna say 75, somebody pays for it, we'll have to be on 25% of it. So it's a pretty good opportunity to get some improvements done down there. So he's gonna come and present about that, I don't remember for sure, but that'll be coming up. I had Heritage for Aging yesterday, and wasn't much to discuss except for Abby's name was brought up.
What?
I heard he's at one of your meetings.
Who was it? Was it,
John
Jones?
Zergel.
Jones
Yep,
County?
yep.
Can I take a guess? Yeah,
Yep.
okay.
So,
Yeah. I saw him, probably the night before then.
that's what I said.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my two meetings for the week.
He asked about you guys and I said, well, that's why I'm running for higher office, stay away from you guys, so. I didn't have anything countywide.
I don't really have anything except for the talking about with the Iowa Workforce Development, about this 2080 agreement, which we can talk about later. It's on the agenda, but
I just had that meeting that Friday up at Eldora, 4.5 hours long. But they did settle the lawsuit in reference to the person that felt they were discriminated on the phone call. It was a closed meeting, so I can't really discuss what happened with it, and there was also another closed meeting on a personnel matter that's ongoing right now too, that's probably gonna be another closed session, next meeting on that.
More closed ones and open ones.
Yeah, and then we did evaluations of the director's performance and so forth, and then approved the director's recommendation for cost of living raises and performance raises for the fiscal year coming up. And I would, if we don't have anything on the agenda for the next meeting, that's pressure for me to be here. I probably should go to that one again, but we can make that decision later.
We were talking about if we're gonna meet, sometimes we'll meet on fair weekend, sometimes we don't.
Their next meeting will be the 25th of July, but I think I might already have some. Well,
What do we have for next week already? Okay.
and then
Do you have anything
yesterday,
you wanna be for next week?
I don't have to, no.
We'll just play it by, if something pops up, you let us know. Otherwise, we'll typically not plan to meet Friday then.
Yeah, that's fine.
We just
Either way.
come in and sign something, sign the.
Yeah.
I'll be in town, so.
No, because next week's payroll.
I had Pioneer Cemetery last night,
Oh,
and I had a unique request that I don't know how to handle, if we're gonna handle it yet. If somebody wants to take over Pioneer Cemetery,
like.
Somebody, like an individual?
a church.
Oh.
But I don't know if we can do it or not because of Pioneer Cemetery rules. And if the board wants to do it. Let me know if I'm saying something wrong.
you're right on the track.
So it's I always call it the Baptist Cemetery. By Brian Wardenberg,
Okay.
and the Baptist Church wanted to know if they could buy plots or take it over. Lawrence Susser. But there's state rules and stuff. It's, and if the board wants to do it.
I don't care.
No, the other board.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, I don't care.
I thought it'd be good, nice, that way it'd be one less that we take care of.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, other than that, I really didn't have anything.
I did attend the Veterans Coffee, monthly Veterans Coffee at the DMK that our officer sets up, and very well attended and a very good group, had a good discussion on how they're doing with their benefits, what other people are doing with their benefits and so forth like that. And we all saw the note that she's gonna be gone for the week for that national training we approved to go to.
You know, the health department, I guess their dishwasher died. We're looking to see if we can get one out of local again.
There's a dishwasher.
But then they had to cook some meals for the whole thing and all.
Oh.
Sometimes we get lucky enough, we get the right person, will they give us stuff.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what we did this week. I think that's it. Go down down below, table items, I didn't see any information, did I miss it? I must have. Okay.
Oh,
I didn't see it, I what? You may notice in the liquor licenses.
I didn't.
I think it came in yesterday. Just go back to that.
Interfund temporary operating loan of 10,000 for flex fund account consideration. You do that every year to get the fund going.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion approved. Iowa County Recorder resignation. Sherry is going to retire as of August 1st. Or on August
That
1st.
will
Need
be your last.
need a motion to accept that?
Yeah, we do.
I'll make a motion to accept her resignation.
I'll second that.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion approved. And there's a bunch of publications we have to do, and that's being handled by Brandy. Thank you very much. Auditor clerk FY 26 salary consideration. So, being down here, why do we have to do this?
Because she's a clerk.
Okay, but don't you have the right to hire back?
Yes. So I didn't change the number of employees, but you still, the board still has to approve her
Every new hire?
if they're a clerk.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, say nay. Motion approved. It's just simple. Do I need to sign this or is it?
No.
Do you have stuff on the next one?
I don't.
That's what I was wondering
Give
too.
me anything.
I don't know anything on it. I don't remember anything.
I don't know anything about it.
If I do, I forgot it.
Yeah, which
We
one?
talked about it the last time he was in here.
Ambulance number.
27.
Yeah. I'm under the assumption, remember, he had a couple of employees that were gonna be on,
No, that's what, yeah, that was what it was for.
and I'm just
And
guessing.
we couldn't hire me at time because it wasn't on the agenda to do it. But yep, good memory.
I don't have documentation on it.
It'd be kind of nice to have an official request, I think, before we approve it.
You know, let's go back to the whole calling. Consideration of running space to CICS, replacing mental health. So what little I know, there's a letter for that too. They need an office space like once a month, once a week.
Where are they gonna use, or where are they gonna use?
The only thing I was gonna suggest is Belinda's office when she's out.
They're asking for. or
They're asking.
Wanting a suggestion.
Because I don't think we're obligated to. This is just a request. And I go, we can't give you office space, you'd have to rent it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then she seemed a little put back by that. The lady who
Came
remember
from a long
her
ways down.
Yeah.
So I got some more tea.
Yeah.
Is that just for the time that Belinda's still gonna be there?
No, that's after Boulder. That's the replacement for mental health. They come back into this region.
They're only.
So it's not the one that I'm in right now, it's the other one. I haven't
It's the new one,
talked,
the new one,
Yes.
the new one is
Yeah.
being started. The
I
same
haven't
thing.
talked with them at all, I don't even know who it is. They never really sent us anything but this, right?
So let's, in my opinion, let's put this on hold until she reaches back out with any kind of a proposal. Keep that down there till we hear back. FY 26 actual service agreement between Hub International, Great Plains, and Iowa County in consideration.
The annual payment that we do.
Something we've been doing every year for quite a while.
Requirements for the gas.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion approved. Levy fines.
Popular today.
Oh, thank you.
How does he get money in?
Hey, somebody don't like me.
Did you ask?
Fine.
Processing fee for
Did
that.
you ask for all?
Here we go.
I can be bought and paid for too, come on.
Again, we're with them. So this is what's-
See if any of them know that.
Hey, Nick.
Good morning.
Morning.
See your bus signs up, Nick? You like it? Yeah, it looks good.
Oops. What's that for you?
So I'll go ahead and order a couple more then and get the other ones replaced, and I'll have one for backup. So, you get any comments about it? or anything?
I don't think they kind of, the block to the east, there's a person parks there every day and every day. I thought we'd hear something on that, but I haven't.
So, I'll get a couple more going.
We have to wait till 9:15. Would you want to start something? You want to start?
Well, we can do the Amana.
City street report?
Yep. Guess I don't have the one copy. Expenses for the year were 130,500, and revenues for the year, were 256,600. We have a current balance of a little over $1 million. And signatures on the last page.
Do we need a motion to approve this?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Street report approved. Do it. Nick, I sign this or you sign this?
I believe you did, Mr. Mayor.
This gentleman.
We had some for about 50,000 for rock, salt and sand, 19,000, 11,000 in equipment, 15,000 in labor for snow removal, 14,000 in patching for our PCC, and then sidewalks and signs were 7,500. Then another $6,000 in spot rock. A lot of that was on the, I call it the East Amana gravel road. And 4,000 in sidewalk repairs.
Did you find anything out on that cemetery road?
Well, I think we took care of it.
C Street? Oh, you
Yep.
did? Okay.
Yeah, we went out there to cut trees, and then I think we put 2 loads of rock down.
Is that county road up to the entrance? I mean, it says C Street on Exxon.
Yeah, I think it's part of the original old flats. I'm pretty sure we've given rock there before, so
Okay, I got to hold you up.
Motion to go to public hearing.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. We are in a public hearing. Public hearing to discuss proposing for a portion of Penn Avenue. We do have a written comment that everybody received a copy of. Would the public like to speak?
Okay,
State your name, please.
Steve Paulman. The guy that I do have, Kinsmall, I have him do work and had him take care of the road, the dirt road this year on 1106M. And, he goes and cut it down and chief squared it so I can have access to it better. And, I would like to, continue to, where the where the sign says by, Tina Tuttle's place, it says, road ends in 700 feet. I would like to start, I would like to personally take care of the road from that where it says 700 feet and rock it when it needs it. And I've been taking care of the dirt road. Fred has too. He's bladed it. And I'd like to just take over the road at that point, if that's okay with the county.
Okay,
And everybody else has their driveways and access to their driveways. Just keep it the same. Everybody else, no problem. So that's what I'd like to do.
I'm Lyda Tim, and we own the land on 107th Street to the top and beyond of the dirt road on the west side. By doing this, it will block us from getting into that part of our farm. Unless the county agrees to tear a new road and put another option for us to get over there. We have maintained the road for many years. This year, Steve did have Kenza box on because of the ruts that he's made through there through these seasons and the different change in the weathers. That's the first time. We have waited for years for him to take and do something because he gets to the point just past Dustin's driveway. We can't even get into our area, our drive into our fields. We are against this, of course. This needs to stay the way it is, the road the way it is. The dirt road, we've taken care of when we can, but when it's impassable, we have had Steve drive up through our land, not knowing it, and making ruts up there to where we've had to have it redone, reseeded, and we put our path back in. Path is back in, but he, again, this spring, has driven up our land. When we blocked him off once, a couple of years ago, we put fencing across that entranceway. He went across from his son-in-law and daughter's place on our CRP and just drove across it and then went on up our hill, opened our gates, went up to the top and opened the other gate and got into his land.
okay,
Never a word from us, to us to let us know that he was having problem. I don't feel it's our responsibility for him to go up through our land so we can get to his.
any next person would like to speak?
My name is Tina Tuttle Sherman. No offense, but I don't totally trust Steve to maintain the road. I have semis that bring me sawdust for my horses, and they need to be able to hold up and have a steady, firm, ground. And I have horses down there that I have transportation with big semis, so I need to make sure that M Avenue is a solid footing to get transportation in and out. And I'm sorry, but I don't trust you to be able to take care of the road like the county does.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
I'm Jerry Ken. I own down at the end of that 700-foot segment. And if this change were made, it would deny me access to that property. And I won't apologize. I do not trust Steve beyond this point to allow that to happen. If it is not in county control. So he's broken the rules before. He's driven through my property to get to the top of the hill. He's opened the fence and cut ruts right up my hillside.
That's not
So
true.
that is true.
Let's
I've never cut your fence.
Let's just stay the
I
top,
said you opened. the
let's stay on the topic of the road, okay?
Okay. I will make it really short and sweet. I'm asking you to keep this a public road, to protect the access of the Tims and of me to get to our property. I have to take farm equipment down this road. And your meeting in June started out with a complaint about piling hay bales in the middle of the road. Well, that's not gonna allow me to get to where I need to be. And you can argue that I have an access on MM that's a mile away, and I can't get farm equipment through the mile to the property that we're talking about here. I have to come down that road. So I'm asking you to keep it a public road so that I have access, the Tims have access to their properties.
Thank you. Anybody else?
My name is Ken Tuttle. I would kind of wonder, to my acknowledgement, that dirt road has already been abandoned and belongs to Fred, from what I've been told. And I'd also like to know, if you abandon that road, first puts a fence down the middle of that road for Fred's half, Steve's half, who's gonna pay all the, survey and all this and that, to have that road surveyed, to have it split? And what good is half a road to anybody? I mean, it doesn't make sense at all to me. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Can I make another comment?
Okay.
When he's talking about splitting the road for Fred's half and Steve's half, it actually would be Jerry Kinnon's half. Steve doesn't have anything until he gets to the top of the dirt road.
Okay.
Steve Wood, that 700 feet, there's that house there.
Yes.
Yeah, so the new 700 feet, he would have.
To the top.
If it were vacated.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, so you guys would have half the road and he would have.
So our renters wouldn't be able to get in and out of our farm up there.
Unless, yeah, like you said, unless you made a whole new access.
Right.
But how much equipment can you get down half a road?
None.
Nothing with the size
Horse and buggy?
Well, you're
farm
on.
equipment nowadays.
Does anybody else want to speak?
Laura Tim, I guess I agree with the half road comment, and also that there's a creek there, that if there is another access just a little further closer to 107, but there's a creek and there would need to be a culvert and pass through put in there. It's not accessible from that side, and above on Hill Avenue, where we live, there is CRP ground, and
there are renters already that have land for farming, and, they can't get through that to get to what the agreement, you know, that they could get into that West Gate down there. So, you know, that there isn't access for them due to the current CRD, and, you know, it's just not. Also, there is the issue of trust. I personally, I would have a picture of my face was torn up from when we took electric bikes out Fred's Gate there, and the road was rutted for at least 10 yards, higher than my knees. And my bike fell in and I hit the handlebars and just didn't see it coming around the corner. I couldn't believe how deep and for how long, you know, that the ruts had happened, and then Fred had to, you know, take the time to go down there and fix that again. Because we need it. If it's the weekend, you know, the county needs notification, and it would take time, but nobody can use their driveway or their, you know, entrance because of the roads. So I mean, the issue of trust would be the history of experience in dealing with these things, so.
Okay,
I'm Ron Tim, I'm Fred Lyda's son, and I'm basically here to support them, but I'd be the next generation that you were talking about with easements and so, I'm just here to make sure that we have that access, that it stays, and I would like to see the county continue to maintain that road right up to where it is now.
okay. Does anybody else have anything else to say before we move on?
Motion to go out of public hearing?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. We have public hearing. Do we need to make a motion to do something, or would it be a
So-
non-action?
What I think you do is, I think you, again, I think you're the board, but I would still maybe give it a resolution number, and then you can,
Approve or deny?
yeah. So then you would have, for or against. That's how I would do it, Brandy, I don't know.
That's why it's documented.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just I guess my opinion on this, when it was first presented, it didn't seem like it was gonna be a big deal, and if it's we didn't have to maintain on the road, great. Did not know it was gonna affect all of you to this degree. So I will just say, at first I had no idea. So I'm very glad that you all came and you talked to us, because otherwise we wouldn't know. So personally, I'm not in favor of vacating this road, but that's just me.
Anybody else want to say anything?
I would somewhat concur. If the neighborhood isn't in agreement with it, then I don't think it should be approved.
I've personally been through something like this myself, so I kind of know, I already had kind of what I would do in the back of my mind anyway, so.
Okay, so we'll move on. Resolution 2025-07-11A. It is
Receptive to individuals and everything else. So even though everybody was against it, I think everybody was really,
they have the right to voice their opinion.
yes, and that's what, you know, that's what I
That's the
tell
whole-
them.
yeah.
That's the whole, I think so. Everybody was real happy with, no, you can ask, and this is how it'll,
I'm
I shouldn't
surprised,
say everybody, but a lot of people understood the whole process, you know?
surprised if a person wants that done, they wouldn't talk to the neighbors before
Yeah.
coming in. So.
And then I noticed mowing, do we have, how many mowers do we have going?
We have one on the paved roads and then one on gravels. The other one is down for gravels, waiting on parts.
I knew we usually have three, but I don't know what happened.
Well.
Gearbox.
And summer help, so we only got one summer helper. And he's doing the paved roads, and everybody was more than happy to mow their own territory. So I believe we're actually probably wrapping up the first round of that.
They've been by your place?
No, I do my own.
All your road ditches?
I do all.
Your territory.
But
should be-
they haven't been on J Avenue or nothing yet.
He was out mowing for a while, back when it was the other,
Okay.
before you had the switch. we were up there right away, and we went down by the interstate. And I know a couple of the west ones got a good jump on it.
I don't think my territory, he's done anything in any part of it yet.
You two would be the same territory,
Or would be.
Really?
I believe.
Good for you.
Right?
You guys are neighbors?
No, not even close. You're down by Millersburg and I'm up by the interstate.
I'm a clear at the end of the territory, I know.
Yeah, you guys are the same territory.
But it is still probably Williamsburg territory. I mean,
I would have never guessed us being that far apart being so more.
Because it wouldn't have either.
I got to be nice to each other since we're neighbors. All right, do I have that paperwork? I'll file that away.
Did you send me a copy of that?
Yes. And I'm not gonna worry about,
And we don't plan a meeting Friday,
next Friday?
yeah, unless you have something they have to come inside.
No, I think we should be okay. Next week, I'm gonna focus on, well, we have interviews most of the day, Monday, Tuesday. Then I'll have to do the payroll in there.
Out of that many people, you gotta have quite a few good ones.
I believe so.
How many interview?
We lined up at 9, possibly gonna make the 10th. There's a 10th that came in at the deadline that also seems to be pretty good. And then I gotta go through all the week, which that's only 10, you know. So that won't take me more than a couple hours, but.
Any in-house?
For the week?
Yeah.
No.
No.
Well, they had that opportunity.
Oh, but nobody applied for it?
Correct.
Yeah.
And then I still gotta hand in that grant. And, then I gotta do the year-end stuff for the state. So, that's what next week looks like anyway. It's not gonna be, and we're wrapping up the construction out there. We're gonna get a few signs up for our future construction and a bunch of paperwork and nothing too exciting.
Any other questions for Nick? Thank you.
All righty.
Have a good weekend.
Yep, you guys too.
I gotta walk around every week.
Does anybody use the bathroom, Greg?
I'll
I just noticed you got a.
be gone this
bucket there.
afternoon.
I only one drink today, so.
Golfing or what?
No, I got other.
You know what?
I gotta take a dog to the.
How was your time off?
It was good. It was a good vacation. Yep.
Did you bring any fish back, David?
We brought a few back. We always used to bring a bunch back and then do a fish fry.
Right, that, you drive the
It's
John.
kind of harder.
That's right.
To do that.
I see.
I can get around, gee whiz.
Oh, come on. Ain't that big, man.
Well, scrubby here.
I know. You think it's like the middle of winter or something?
I didn't think so.
All right, nothing too serious. I reached out to Base Point, got the main controller's order for the HVAC system. They said 2 to 6 weeks out. And whenever they come in, they'll get a hold of me and we'll schedule it and get that taken care of. And then last week, we had the first of our semi-annual inspection for the fire alarms. Tested all the smoke detectors, duct sensors, horn strobes. Nothing too big there, nothing serious, passed flying colors.
So since you mentioned testing, can you get involved in getting our panic buttons tested?
As in with Johnson Control, that's a
No,
Johnson.
with Jeff.
Sheriff Department.
Yeah.
Jeff Cross?
Yeah. Go around, press the buttons and say this one's working.
Yeah, we did that last year.
I know, but that's a year ago. We should
We
do
did
it
it
kind of.
again.
We just gotta pull off, the city.
What?
It happens again.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought
It used to be done monthly.
Really?
yeah, so once a year is not asking too much. We kind of should do it quarterly at least.
I'll try it right now.
I'll be doing that.
That'll get someone over here to,
Monthly? When did they do it monthly?
right after we have them, so.
Which was when?
That was before you.
Why? Obviously.
Don't get defensive.
I mean, okay, yeah, I can set something up to where we can do that quarterly. I mean, Johnson Controls really doesn't need to be here for it.
No.
Have Jeff on the phone and say, here,
You just talked about doing this, I just figured, you brought it up,
Yeah, and that's through Johnson Controls, but it's on the security side, which I don't deal with.
we can test it. All you can do is go, hey, I'm in this office, I press this button, I was from office to office.
Well, you just call dispatch and say, hey, we're gonna be testing panic alarms today. And then they have to, I think they go in there and they actually dismiss the alarm on the system itself.
I don't think they'd like it if we test them ourselves.
No, you kinda have to give them a heads up, so they know.
Push it and they get it. That was a test.
Testing.
Yeah.
Sit there with our timers on.
Yeah. But no, yeah, I can, I'll get with Jeff on that, so we can set something up, so we can test them quarterly, if you want, or monthly, or whatever anybody decides.
I was gonna say, I'd rather just start with quarterly first.
Yeah.
We usually do monthly, we at least back down to quarterly.
Okay. And again, that's through the Johnson Controls security side of the contract, which I'm not in control of. The jail is.
Fine, I'm just requesting.
I know, but that's fine. I'll get it done, but.
Okay, sorry.
All right, and then, the exhaust fan timer switch over at the EMS garage in Williamsburg. It was going bad, it was shutting off at random times, so I went over there, tested it, got a new switch, put it in, and it's been working. And then, like last month, when I was telling you about the cameras at transportation, bought some wired cameras from Swifties and they're working fine, so. Again, nothing too major, so.
Did you make the phone call then to Amanda? Wolfen?
I have not yet, no.
Okay. I just wanted to.
That's that Terry Gilmore, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that is.
Well, what did we try getting them from the one time, and they said no? Fridge?
I think so.
But we got the washer and dryer, though, didn't we?
We got the washer and dryer from them, but I think we tried getting something else from that kind of stuff.
Doesn't hurt to ask.
I know, and I mean, that's another thing, I guess I can tell you guys is, Lori called me yesterday and thought the building was burning down. Well, the pump motor on the dishwasher locked up, and it was smoking, so. We can get a new pump motor assembly, but they're like $300, where a brand new dishwasher is like $4,500. And the dishwasher is probably 20-some years old. So, and like Kevin mentioned, we can try to get a hold of the man and see if they can donate us one. But like I said, we tried to the fridge and we got the knives.
Some things yes and some things are no, it doesn't hurt to try.
Nope.
Yeah, I'd say you want to replace it.
Yeah.
After 20 years, it's probably won't make a lot of parts for it anyhow.
Well, it says it's a property in Hay-Cap, which is,
Oh, wow.
I don't know how old that is, but apparently it's old. So,
It's been a day or two then.
how old is that Hay-Cap?
How many years we've been out there? Probably 12 years we've been out there.
So, and who knows if you can get, I'm sure you can get parts for it. I mean, from my experience, I know that the pump and motor assembly is usually $300 maybe.
I'm just glad you stepped up and said you do the dishes by hand until you got it fixed.
I did not say that. No, I did not say that.
That's what you meant though, right?
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah. But no, that's it. That's all I got for you guys.
Did we ever get the judge's library back in the day?
Like with the plastic and everything. Well, what's his name?
Did you have Randy come out?
We have Randy, was it Gorka? Is that his last name? Yogi. Yeah, so he came to me in the spring, but obviously we didn't have time to get it in this fiscal year, because he would have been planning. So he's gonna come back in the winter and give me another quote and see what we can do about it.
Okay.
So, and he said winter's the best time for him, because he's not doing anything, obviously, because he's a farmer. So,
Or he works for one.
Oh, he works for farmer? Oh, I thought he did farm, okay.
You say farmers don't do anything anymore?
No.
That's what I heard. That's what I heard.
He said that's the slow time of the year.
He said didn't do anything.
That's what that's word.
We're not a maintenance man, we don't have any.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
You were talking to the wrong crowd.
Yeah, I know, I realize it. Hey, that's what he said.
I see how that is here.
Do it. Alright,
Okay, any other questions for Donna?
you guys have.
Make sure you wear your A&M hat next time, maybe, huh?
Yeah, we'll do.
Have a good weekend.
We'll do. Good luck. Bring your donuts? I did bring the donuts.
Yeah. Go on up, we'll take you early.
Hey, Travis, how are you? Good.
Is there a motion to go to drainage district?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. We are in drainage district.
Simple, sweet, easy. Last year, we run 125 hours of pumping, which comes to, we pumped 101 million gallons of water. So that was actually pretty low. We had pretty good, when the river's down, I open the gates, let it flow. I only got to shut it when the river comes up like it's been up the last 3
How
weeks.
often you have to like test run stuff?
So the generator gets tested once a month, roughly once a month. And then I actually, depending on the weather, in the spring and in the fall, I will let the ponds actually fill clear up, or the one pond. And then I'll run it like just yesterday or this week, I run it for an hour, hour and a half, all 3 motor pumps running on the generator. So twice a year, we'll do a full load on it.
Was it duckweed?
It's moss and duckweed. The duckweed ain't bad right now, the moss is terrible. So what happens, I can't leave it on automatic. What happens is the moss will actually plug my grates up at the top 1.5 foot, and I'll run out of water, get to the pump because it's plugged. So like now, what I do, go down there once a week and turn them on. I can pick what pumps I can run, I can manipulate it, and then run them for 2-3 hours.
So like last night or whatever, how much did that have to run for all?
No, so this morning I started, last night we went up to, we had an inch, 7/10 of a rain, 8/10 of a rain down there, and we had, I run it for, we gained 6 inches of water. But last week when we had that 2.5 inches, you know, I gained 1.5 to 2 foot of water that day. And I can absorb that. I run the pond a lot lower than what Larry ever did. But I can absorb that 2 foot. Where it gets this, it'll start backing into Charlie's field is where it goes. That's usually my reference. As long as I keep it out of his crops, we're good. But so other than that, it's good. I got to do some cameraing. The Corps is making me actually go through every pipe and every hole that goes through the levee. So I have my pipes that actually discharge from the pumps over to the opposite side of the levee. I have to actually, they're like a 24-inch round pipe. So they want me to have a camera action, and then the gates themselves. Before, what I did is when the river was low, I just walked in there with my boots and took my phone and made a video of it. They're getting a little more demanding on that. They think it needs to be a little better than that. We do have 2 pipes. We have one by Marengo Ready, I call it the Ready Mix Sand Pit Gateway, that Frank used to use to drain when he pumped the pits down. It was just a 10-inch pipe that goes through way high. I think he added that without permission years ago. So that is they want to tear it back out because number one, we don't need it anymore because they never pumped the pits down and it wasn't permitted. And then there's another one on the west side of Marengo behind Joe Loftus is Mike McBride's. Mike McBride's really down in there. That one was not permitted also. So we've had the drawings to the Corps. They move slower pace of a snail. For a year or so, they're just going to give us permission to take them pipes out. What we do is we put them back over top of the levee, and then we build dirt over top of them, so that if that pipe would ever fail and the river's clear full, that the water can't come backwards through the pipe. So that's in the process. That won't be a huge project, just to take them 2 out. So maintenance wise, we need to put some rock on the road. So this year, The city just let the project, the city is gonna change where they discharge their sewer lagoon. So currently, the discharge of the sewer lagoon goes into my pond, into the drainage ditch that runs into the pond. The city's gonna change that location and actually discharge right at the river. So that is a bonus for us, because then I don't have to pump any of their water. Currently, I pump every ounce of water that comes out of the lagoon or flow it out through there. So what they're gonna do is that discharge pipe will come out of the sewer lagoons, head east till it gets to the levee, turn north and go up over top of the levee, and then go discharge clear down another quarter mile, half mile down the river. Once they go over top, then they'll bring dirt fill back in, build a road back over top.
I was just gonna say, that's a road gonna be going like this pretty soon.
Yeah, they're actually, I worked with them a little bit, so I gotta go up to get to my gates to where all my operators are. Then you go down, we're gonna probably blend that in pretty good and just slope it
For all
around.
the people that walk out there.
Yep, yeah, it won't meet ADA compliance walking trail, but it'll be, if they want to do the walking trail, and they're still working on that, whatever. That question keeps getting brought up of the maintenance of the walking trail, and I've been adamant all the way through. The drainage district is not taking over any maintenance on that trail. So if that question gets proposed or asked, or why not, we don't have the funds, the operation to gravel the road. I'll let them do it.
And we give them permission.
We gave you permission, but we are not maintaining that. So I'm not spraying the weeds, I'm not grading the gravel, whatever. Now, if we go out and do work on the levee and we tear it up, we'll put it back to the way it was.
So is the course still coming out once or twice a year?
They come out, so the federal government got, after COVID, you know, they skipped there and then they come back. So now they come like, I get a full in-depth inspection like every 3 years.
Oh, wow.
They call me every year. I got a good guy by the name of Alex. Me and him will talk 2 or 3 times a year. You got any issues? I'll get emails as soon as, like, if weather's starting to come in, he'll email, hey, are you okay? You got everything? Yep, all good. They'll come to me. So then like every 3 years they come out and do my full inspection. And 1 year they might come and do part of it. Next year they might just call me and see what I need. So it's every 3, and then that, like every 5th year or somewhere there's a schedule, they actually walk the levee.
Yeah, I did it right along once.
Yeah, so that was 2 years ago. There's one person on the top and one person on each bottom. And they literally walk from one end of the levee all the way.
Anything for down to a ground squirrel hole.
And then they'll identify them, and then they'll give me a list. So one of their lists this year was the camera deal.
You already having ground problems? We used to have that.
3 or 4 a year. It all depends on the river. You know, the river's been down the last 4 or 5 years, so they don't monkey with it. Now I'm having a few more because the river's pushing them out. You know, lose them. So, but and like last year we only mowed twice, dry. So we didn't mow the 3rd time. This year I may end up mowing 4 times. The grass has been growing better. So we like to get it down to where it comes September, October, there's not much. We mow it late, and then it doesn't give the ground squirrels and the muskrats the habitat to live in the deep grass.
So how's that gonna work though, if we only budget for what?
We'll just adapt and overcome and see where we're at.
Okay.
We're gonna, Alan Moore still mows it for me. I hired him to mow it, and he's mowed once already. He's gonna start mowing again this weekend, weather permitting. So that'll be early July. And it's gonna depend on what August does to us. If August gives us a bunch of rain in the grass, we might have to. We've mowed it 4 times in the past, but you know, like last year, we only mowed it twice. So we saved on that. So generator inspection, they come down every year, service the generator. I have them on an every 2 year for a complete service. So last year in 25 was just a sample. They take an oil sample, look it over, saves me half the money, saves $500 a service. 26 now they'll go ahead and do the full service on it. So because we only get, on an average, I run it an hour per month. We're lucky if we get 10 to 12 hours a year on that thing. So we're good on that. Then the city project, so on the rocking of the road, the city they let that, fortunately for us, I think Brian Miller got the job. So I'll work with him on the road. He wants to use that road as access down to his. My agreement typically is you leave it the way you found it. So it's got some, we need to put some rock on the top, so I'm gonna leave it up to Brian whether he wants to rock it at the end or rock it before. And if I rock it at the end, it'll be perfect when he leaves, or if he wants to work with me on that part of it. So that part of it's good. Future projects, I've been working with Lou still. He can't quit, so.
Yeah.
Tim will go down there and then they'll call me and whatever. So we have, the next big project we have is the river. If you went straight north of, so like Jim Disterhauser, all the way, you know, just went down there on the north section, it's actually the river just to the west of the boat ramp or the old Court Avenue, where the boats go in and out. That river is naturally creeping south, which is coming closer to our levee. Now Larry had monitored that. That was the old, his marking post was a Barnes root beer can in the tree, across the tree. That's how Larry knew where the spot was that we measured off of. So this is my 6th year and we've been monitoring that. We got the engineers to do surveys, stakes. And so we're in the process, probably in 2 to 3 years, we'll actually go in there and rip wrap that bank and go. So I met with Bill Clausen's our engineer that does all our engineering for 40 years on this. He said working with the Iowa River is a little bit more over him. So he hooked me up with Kate at Howard R. Green. So she came down and we visited 2-3 months ago, looked at the project, said no big deal. Gave me some preliminary numbers. It's going to be a $800,000 to $1 million project. So they'll go in there and take the trees out, slope the bank a little bit, and then literally put riprap down at the water level so that as the river comes in, it quits cutting. We're losing 2 to 3 feet of bank every year.
Oh, wow. But it takes a lot of riprap from the Iowa River to maintain it, right?
Sheep.
Or spend all the way to hold it?
Yeah, but if we're gonna spend $800,000, we must be gonna buy a lot of riprap. So, but that was, she was guessing $800,000. So my concern why I wanted to start early on that was I didn't know if the permission process was a 2-month job, call them up, hey, we're just gonna do this, or is that a 2-year project? Kate thinks she can do it in 6 to 8 months, so I just call that a 1-year process. To get all the permission, bid it out, whatever, and then it would be a 2-3 weeks or a month-long project.
And then you have the bond for that then?
Yeah, so what Lou and Tim are working on now is seeing where we're at, what warrants we come in. We'll decide that. Lou said we need to go up back. We'll have to go out for our special assessment at some point here in the next year or 2. So he's doing the numbers to figure out which way is the best to do that. So the last big project we went through the city to do, when we dug the seepage ditch all the way around, whether we choose to go that direction or not, but it's 2 to 3 years out yet. My big concern is if it was gonna take 3 years to do, or 2 years to do the drawing and the permitting process, that give us a starting point. When do we start? When do we stop? So.
I was gonna say, you don't wanna wait too long if it's taking that much out of here.
What's that?
You don't wanna wait too long if it's moving that fast.
I don't wanna get to, it's a 911, and we're still, I gotta say, we're 50, 60 foot away yet. But if we don't do nothing for 20 years, we're gonna be 10 foot away. And then it becomes more.
Assuming it's the same way, if we get a big flood or something.
Right. So, and of course, this year, the river's been up higher this year than it has the last 2-3 years. We've had it out, whatever. So, so yeah, other than that, it's kind of all good down there. We've weathered the storm with the C60 fiasco. That's all finally.
One of my questions, is that all done? Back to normal?
My part of it's all back to normal. And I actually worked with the Highline crew that come through and put all the highlines in. They owed me some rock, and I said, I'll tell you what, trade me out. I traded them. They seeded all that for me instead of putting the rock on. I said, we're good. that part of it, so. You know, when we did our, you've probably seen it on 411 and Bear Creek out here, there was fiber optic cables that went up over the levee and then all the way out through there. Lou takes care of all that easement stuff. He got, I think, $10,000 a piece out of that. And then they took care of hauling the dirt in and putting the fill over it and seeding and all that. So the only other thing I really need to do, we put some new gates down there at 212. Now, Ringo and the whole trail project and whatever. So they are talking about putting something better than farm gates in there. So Phil Breck over here has a friend, Paul Shepard, that can do some laser cutting and some steel awareness. If you guys want to provide it, I don't care. What we're looking at doing is doing 2 gates. So they will be set apart from each other and they'll go half. They claim they like that for the bicyclers and also the walkers, that they don't just have a straight shot. They can't just blow right across the highway. So they have to go through a Z pattern. And if we have 2 gates, then we'll just have a removable post in the middle that I can pull out and then drive trucks or equipment or whatever through there, whatever we need to. So
Is that one of those things you have to get core approval anytime you touch it?
no, on a maintenance deal like that, I'm fine. Just as long as we're taking out one gate, putting another one in.
I just know they're touching things.
Yeah, they are. They're, if you're maintenance, they give me a lot of leeway on maintenance. You know, just like when we dug out the bottom of this retention pond, I didn't have to ask them as long as I didn't go any deeper than the original elevation. So they're just like, no, that's maintenance and you're good. So my part with that is I told Ringo, I'm not incurring any expense to put them gates in. If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it the way all we need to. So they're good about that. They're like, all right, well, if we provided all the stuff, will you put them? Yep, we'll work on that part of it. So. But I don't have a problem making that look nicer than them. And don't get me wrong, the 411 gates need access. We used them the other day for the fire department. I didn't realize the bottom hinge is wired together with some number 9 wires. But we won't open them but once a year. So, but other than that, all's good. Everything's good, all peaceful. I mean, should be keep everybody happy and keep them. So our North River project will probably be our next. And then probably the next big thing I'm thinking is 5 to 10 years, as long as everything goes good at some point, we'll need to update electrical and motor controls. I mean, everything down there right now is 79 or 80 when that went in. So we're 45 years. So we're gonna hit our 50-year mark in 5 years or something like that. So, but, you know, I haven't had no issues, but there's small stuff, you know, air compressor stuff and little things. We just haven't had any issues down there, so. Okay.
Any other questions?
If anybody's got any questions in the future, holler at me, give you a tour if you ever want to. The only other thing I got going is I'm growing a good thistle crop.
Good for you.
Are they?
They're bad this
They're
year.
bad this year?
I don't know why, but I
Okay.
suppose rain and, I
Yeah.
mean, just,
So that was, if that gets out of control, I think it might have to talk to like a spray company and I don't know.
What kind you got?
Huh?
What kind you got?
I don't know, they're thistles. All I know is.
There's a bunch of them like clumps.
Yep.
I bet they're Canadians.
That's what
Probably.
So it just seems like, and I just like, you know, I have 1 or 2, you know, here and there, whatever. It's like, okay, but now, man, you go through the levee and they're just one into the other. It's a solid spot. You know? So I figured if I have to do that, I'll just have like roars or co-op. I would think they could just drive along top of the levee and lay their booms out and catch it. So
They got them on both sides then?
yeah, they're growing fairly well. So, and I'm sure Charlie usually keeps me in tune when the thistles get bad. He always gets to growling because they end up in his bean field, I think. They get going, so. But other than that, I think we're all good, so. Okay?
Okay. Thank
Sounds
you.
good. Thank you. Yep.
Is there a motion to go out of drainage district?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. We are out of drainage district.
Sorry, what was my motion?
Me,
Me. Second.
the 18 over here.
What?
18 over here.
There you
Yeah,
go.
you guys have done them all.
Already shut out.
Yep, I'm good. Shut out again.
Auditor's report is just a note.
I do have a reference. It's for investments on Miranda Street LLC. It's renewal. I'll make a motion to approve it.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Motion approved. Who is that? Okay. 2080 agreement between Iowa County and Iowa Workforce Development.
I sent it to the county attorney and the assistant looked at it and said it's all good. It's just another year assignment.
Figure out how many people signed it.
I think I got him and then I think you got him and maybe Brandy.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say
There we go.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion approved. Okay, so
Wait, you get it, John?
as of right now, we're not gonna meet on Friday unless something comes up due to the fair. So if people wanna add something, we have the following week, or if we need to come in, we need to come in. I know I'll be available Friday if other people are not.
Oh, yeah. I'm available too.
I was gonna say, I'll be over here in these guys.
I won't be available. The big show takes place at that time.
So, why don't I make a call to Adam about the request to hire? If you don't mind. It's now that you jogged my memory about, I think we did talk about, we couldn't do it.
Recess or?
Yeah.
Recess. Oh, I hit a button.
speaker, we had questions about your part-time employee. Wait, hold on. Okay, now you're back in the board meeting. So we talked about, we forgot about, or I forgot. Last time you were in here, you requested to hire an additional temporary employee.
Yeah, but he's not gonna start till after the other one leaves.
So we don't,
Tim's, the full-time employee, last day is July 31st, and the new full-time employee's not starting till August 18th or 19th.
So what are you asking for anything or not?
No, I'm not asking for anything, no.
So don't worry about what you asked for.
Yeah, that's why I didn't put it on the agenda, yeah.
Okay, we did.
Oh, sorry, I should have told you I didn't need it.
Okay, nope.
I didn't even look at the agenda.
Okay, nope, that's all we needed then.
Yeah, no, you don't need to do anything. Thank you for calling and asking them.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
Bye. Yeah, that was easy. Okay, so which means,
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay, we are adjourned.